Hi everyone, we have Dr. Michael DeGollier, the Director of Hong Kong Transition Project here today to talk about constitutional reform. Okay, Michael, what are functional constituency and geographic constituencies and how do they function?
Well, let's start with the easy one. The geographic constituency, everybody understands. Basically, the neighborhood you live in is where you vote, and that's common. Everybody around the world who are voters can recognize this kind of constituency. And we have about half of our legislative council seats are elected by this geographic constituency system. The other half, however, is a little different. Other people may really be confused by this because it's not the kind of thing that they're used to. What we have are 30 seats, just like we have 30 seats geographically constituency elected. We have 30 seats that are elected by these so-called functional constituencies. And these functional constituencies are made up of people, well, for example, like lawyers. We have one seat, and only the lawyers get to vote for a lawyer, and they have a lawyer representative in the Legislative Council. And all the accountants vote for an accountant, and they have an accountant representative. And we have engineers, and we have commercial people, and we have people who work in restaurants, or who own restaurants, I should say. So we have about 18 seats that are business related, and then a number of seats that are professional related. 3 seats are returned by labor unions, but not by vote of the workers, it's by vote of the union. It's one union, one vote. Okay. So there's a whole mix of voting rules. Sometimes it's individuals have a vote, other times it's only the owner of the company that gets a vote. So it's a very mixed bag, very peculiar system.
Okay, so does the general public think is fair and?
Well, there's certainly a very clear perception from our surveys. We find that people, by and large, more than 2/3, think that government policy making currently is unfair. And whenever you look at the legislative council system, well, you might say, well, half are elected geographically and half are elected by these functionals, so it's half-half. Isn't that fair? But whenever you dig more carefully into it, you find that the 30 seats from the geographic constituency, it's about 3.4 million people get to vote for those guys. The 30 seats on the functional side, however, it's about 200,000 people who get to vote for them. And those 200,000 people, it's even more unfair than that because 80% of that 200,000 voters only vote in this one of 6 seats. The other 24 seats have smaller and smaller and smaller constituencies to where there's a couple that have fewer than 150 voters each. So you have 1 seat in the geographic constituency, and roughly the average is somewhere around 215,000 voters get 1 seat, and then roughly 200,000 voters in the FC, they get 30 seats. So the average power difference between the FCs and the GCs, the functional constituency and the geographic constituency, is 30 to 1. Every 1 voter in the functional constituency has the power of 30 voters. It would be like if they went to the ballot box and instead of sticking in 1 ballot, they just kept filling out and 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 filling out, stuffing the ballot box. That's the effect that you get. And that's a very unfair thing. And we find that people respond naturally, just like you would expect. They feel that it's very unfair.
Okay. That's all the time we have for this section. Stay tuned.